Good evening, everyone. Today we're going to meet someone really special, Dr. Yogeshwar. Dr. Yogeshwar is someone I have a lot of respect for. He's a Nadi Vaidya, and he's someone who's been traveling for a long time and healing people. He's also cancer care consultant, um, and he's also an art of living teacher. He teaches the happiness program, Ayur Jagruti, various spine care, and various such programs related to health. So, on to Dr. Yogeshwar. Welcome, Dr. Yogeshwar. It's nice to have you here. Dr. Yogeshwar, can you tell us a little about yourself, a little about Ayurveda? Can you just start us off? See, these days, most people know a lot about Ayurveda. People, especially now since the lockdown and since COVID started, many people have shown an interest in Ayurveda. They are taking Ayurvedic supplements and they are benefiting a lot. So people have a background, they kind of understand a little about Ayurveda. But what is your perspective on Ayurveda? Can you give us a more detailed perspective on Ayurveda?
Yes, Didi. Uh, Thank you so much for your kind words. So, Ayurveda, as you know, there are two main words here. One is Ayu and another is Veda. So, very simple meaning of this. Ayu means the life, and the Veda, it's a science. So, it's nothing but an Ayurveda. It's a science of life. So, it is from the ancient time, like we are following that things, and it is one of the Upanga, we can say. It is derived from the Atharva Veda. So that's why it is from the tradition of the all the Vedas and everything. So right now we know Ayurveda through very little. Like we would think it's only herbs and it's only some daily routine we can use in that, or we can practice some spices and all these things. And nowadays some people call it as a jadi booty and all, but it's not like that. It's more than that. So it has its own way of healing system, right from the diagnosis till the patient's cure. So it's all that explained in the Ayurveda. In that one part, as you said, we are going to see about the nadi. Yes.
Right. So now, what is so special about Ayurveda and how is it different from allopathy? From my understanding, I think Ayurveda is very brilliant because it doesn't treat two different people as one. It treats each body as unique and separate. Can you tell us a little more about that, about kapha, vata, pitta, and how each body is different and how it has to be treated different, how it is diagnosed differently, how it is cured differently, and the do's and don'ts for different types
Yeah.
of bodies.
So I'll start with the basic fundamentals only here. So all of we know our body is made by the five elements.
Right.
Now, Prithvi, Aap, Tej, Vayu, and Akash, we used to say that. So there are some permutation and combination of these five elements form as three energies that we used to call it in Ayurveda as Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. There is a no scientific term in modern science. That's why I cannot correlate with the what is exactly Vata and Pitta and Kapha. So that's why
Right.
I have to use the same word, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And in Ayurveda, they beautifully said that, like if your doshas, so whatever I'm telling about the Vata, Pitta, Kapha, in general terms, it call it as a doshas. If there are in the equilibrium state, if there are in the normal state,
Right.
then you are called as a healthy person. And suppose because of any kind of or any reason, if they get out of the balance, then we can call it as a deceased or ill person. So it's
And
that much simple it is.
so, what is it? What are the things that throws it off balance?
Yeah, the first thing important is our diet, second is our lifestyle, and third is the season. That have a lot of impact on us, and that is how that three doshas get out of the balance, and then we'll face all the consequences according to the vata, pitta, and kapha dosha.
And it is not limited to just the body; it also has an effect on the mind, right?
Absolutely, yes, because Ayurveda itself says as that prasanna atma indriya manaha swastha ityabhidhyate. It's not the only your physical body has to be in the equilibrium, but as well your all the five senses should be in control. Along with that, if your happiest state of mind is there, then only you will call it as a healthy person.
So Ayurveda is not just treating the body, it is treating an individual as a whole.
Yes.
Correct? Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
And how does one recognize that something is off balance? Do they have to wait till they feel illness in the body, or is it possible to just recognize that it's going off balance and to be able to curtail it?
Yeah, the very nice question you asked here. How you will get to know about what exactly is there imbalance in your body? So Vata has some particular characteristics. So when there is a particular season it's going, how the Vata behaves. Otherwise, we can take an example of an individual. So, for example, if I say about myself, I am a Pitta Prakriti person. So there are some characteristics of Pitta Prakriti person. When I say there is a Pitta Vikruti, so when the Pitta goes imbalance, then there are different again symptoms or characters that shows. So this is how we can differentiate individual from these Vata, Pitta, Kapha and their characters.
So, doctor, there are people who are watching us and they would like to know, right now there's a curiosity. Am I Vata? Am I Kapha? Am I Pitta? Is there a way to know this without really getting a Nadi Pariksha? Because right now we're all under lockdown. So it's not always possible to get a Nadi Pariksha. So do you have some way, some characteristics by which they can recognize what their Prakriti is and what the Vikriti is? Can you help us with that?
Some peculiar characteristics of Vata. Like Vata people, we will talk about the full body level. So these are very thin and
so is there a way they can write it down and make notes so that they can recognize what they are, whether they're Kapha, they're Vata, they're Pitta?
They can do that.
Yeah. Okay. So then we would suggest right now that if you would like to know whether you would like to know your Prakriti and your Vakriti, then just take a piece of paper and then start making notes. And wherever you recognize that some of these qualities exist in you, if you recognize these qualities in you, just make a note, and then doctor will help us at the end of it, decide what our Prakriti and Vikriti is. Right? Am I right, doctor? Will you help us do that?
Yeah. So we need to say all the all the characters we need to tell, or how it is.
It would be nice, right? So then they can just list all their characteristics, and then that way they know whether they're Kapha, Vata, Pitta, what is the Vikriti, what is the Prakriti. Do you think we can do that? Would that be possible?
Yeah, that is possible.
Yeah.
Yes,
just a general guideline on if you can just tell us what the Vata characteristics are, so they can just make a note of that, and then later Pitta and then Kapha. Would you like to do that?
Yes. So first I will tell about the Vata characteristics.
Right.
So these people are very alert, very quick, they are very spontaneous, and they will start immediately whatever you say, and they are very creative. So when it comes to the physical body level, they have irregular bowel movements, and as well they have irregular Agni, that means Visham Agni we can say. Like they eat food, but again after 1 or 2 hours they will say, oh, I am again hungry, I want to eat something.
Right. So Agni is that which is the digestive fire responsible for digestion. Yeah. Right.
Yes. And as I said, these are in the body frame, if you see, they are very thin in nature, and they are if you ask there, the strength is also very less, and their skin is also very dry, and they look sometimes very dull. So these are some physical characteristics. We can say these are the Vata qualities.
And they also are they restless and stuff like that also?
Yeah, when it comes to the off balance, then that character comes.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Like if I say when Vata disturbs in the mind, and we can say these people get lot of anxiety, and they become so restless, and anything tremors and all these things the people can feel. And in physical body level, you see any kind of pain that is associated with the Vata. So you can say lower back pain, neck pain, headache, and all these things. So it usually comes under the Vata element.
And instead of, sorry, go ahead.
And sometimes we feel the bloating and constipation. This is also characteristic of Vata.
So is there a particular phase in life after a particular age that one develops Vata tendencies? Is there a Vata age?
Yes, yes. In Ayurveda, it is said that from your birth till the 16th year, you will be in a Kapha phase. So that's where exactly you will start getting nutrition, and you start developing and you start growing also. So from 16 to 55 to 60, you will have a Pitta. So from after 55 to 60, you will have only Vata.
Okay. So can we then move on? So this we know about, our lifespan, but can we move on to qualities of Pitta and Kapha so that we know what we are,
Yes,
and
yes.
then we can.
Pitta people, I can say these people have very medium build. They are very sharp. They are intellectual. They have very good digestion, and these people are also active, and they are very passionate, and they always want to do something new. They cannot simply sit and say, "Okay, we are done with the life." They always have that leadership qualities are more in Pitta, and these people have a lot of strength also to do anything in terms of the work or in terms of the family. They are all maintaining good relationship and everything. So these are good qualities of Pitta. When it goes the off balance, usually these people get skin issues. So any kind of skin issues that is related to the blood and the skin, that comes under the Pitta. Any inflammation, we can call it as, that is also Pitta. And usually bowel movements also sometimes get disturbed in the Pitta also.
Okay. And their nature, what is a Pitta person's nature when it's off balance? Would it create anger, jealousy, stuff like that?
Yeah, in nature, if you want to see when the Pitta goes off the balance, usually very peculiar characteristic is they get immediate angry. So when a person is a Pitta Prakriti, and if you don't give food on time, you have to see so many people around you. They immediately get angry.
We all know people like that.
So that is very, they will get anger, they get jealousy also, and they have extreme negative thoughts, like this all destruction and all, it comes under the Pitta. So anything to finish off, to work and off the get the balance and everything.
Right. So maybe then we can keep the terrorists a little cool. We can give them cooling foods.
Yes.
And stuff
Absolutely.
like
And even if they do little bit of this pranayama also, they immediately get benefit out of that, because they are very quick in action and reaction both.
The Pitta, when there's a Pitta, when the Pitta is off balance, at that time pranayam would help them, meditation, pranayam, all these things. So definitely cool them down. Yeah. Okay. And then Kapha, would you like to tell us a little about that?
Kapha people, we usually say they are very, we can call it as a thick build, like they are very stout, and at the same time, what their hunger is very less, but they can eat less also, but the whole day they can carry their work. And as well, they have very good strength of the bones, muscle, joints, and everything. Like their body structure is perfect, though they are obese also. Yeah, and they're very steady. And when Kapha goes off the balance, when a good particular nature of mindset in the Kapha is, their mind is very calm, and they got attached with the people very well, and they can take decisions with a cool mind. So they cannot react immediately. If someone says, Pitta people come immediately, they show their anger, then they break the relationship and they go. But Kapha people don't do anything like that. They always want to save the relationship and they go ahead. But what happens when the Kapha go off the balance, they become so greedy and they become so possessive and they become so depressed also. So they cannot express their feelings also.
Oh. So there's like an extreme positive and an extreme negative in this. Now, so is each individual only one Prakriti? In the Prakriti, are they just can they be just Kapha or just Pitta or just Vata, or are there two usually?
No, there are definitely two combinations. So nowadays we are getting all the people with the one of the other is a dominant and another will be the secondary one.
Correct.
Like we can say I am Pitta Vata, like that anything. Pitta Kapha, Kapha Pitta, Kapha Vata. This is how it goes.
So those who are writing it are making notes right now. So they have to see what their maximum qualities are, whether they belong to Vata or Kapha or Pitta. And then the second most qualities, so they would be a combination of those two, right? Yeah. 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 Okay. Now, um, what should one do? Like, say, if the Vata is off balance, then what is the solution for that? Say if Kapha is off balance, what is this? If Pitta is off balance, what is the solution?
The first simple remedies I can tell here, when you get to know about the vata imbalances there, we usually recommend to do abhyanga, like any kind of oil massage to the particular organ or to the place of the body, or entire you can body apply all over the oil. Wait for 5-10 minutes, then go for the hot water or warm water bath. That is the best way to do.
Any particular oil one should be using?
Yeah, we can say any kind of coconut oil or bala taila, kshirabala oil, this type of oil they can use.
Okay. And would this vary? I'm sorry, but would it vary from season to season, the preference of oil?
No,
no.
Really no.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. And they can have nourishing and soothing food. And if you if you give it them all the sweet food, then immediately vata also comes down.
Right. Warm foods, slightly heavier, dense foods, yes, right? Yeah.
Yes. So
and activity?
Activity, they have to do lot of pranayama and meditation as well, so that they will become stable.
Right.
And abhyanga, that will reduce physically vata, so that their restlessness will also come down.
And if they're exercising, what kind of exercise would you recommend they do?
It's light yoga, like Sukshma yoga they can do. Right. Stretches they can do. That much they are okay. They can't do vigorous and extensive, because
that will increase. That will increase vata. That will
increase. Yes,
right.
Yes.
And cold, they can't bear cold, and
they cannot bear much cold also. Yes, yes.
Yeah. So the foods they should eat should be warmer in quality.
Yes. Yeah. Food will be in the warmer in quality.
Warmer quality. And that is to balance vata. Now, how would one balance pitta?
Pitta is very simple to balance. Avoid all spicy, chili, and junk food. And if possible, any kind of, because we tend to eat lot of spicy, like green chili and extra stuff with the chili, right, and these all stuff, then that we totally should avoid. And one important thing, these people should eat food on time. That is very important. If they eat little late also, then this all pitta will start accumulating, and that causes off the balance. So eating food on time, do sitali, sitkari, nadi shodhan pranayam, and meditation. These all will help them a lot.
And is there how frequently should they eat? Any particular number of meals they should have through the day?
No, Didi, because it varies from person to person, depend upon their Agni. So ideally we can go on day-to-day basis, 3 meals, like breakfast, lunch and dinner is absolutely okay.
Right. Yeah. For pittas or for vatas as well?
No, for pitta I can say, because vata people tends to eat lot. So in between also they can go and eat some snacks and everything.
So they'll need every 2 hours they can eat? Is that what you would recommend for vata people? Every 2-3 hours?
Their hunger, how it is, based on that we can say.
But I think you would check the nadi and then guide them individually. You can't just generally make a statement and say they should, but they should eat more frequently. They would want to eat more frequently than pittas. Okay. And what about kapha?
Kapha people, they have to avoid dairy products like paneer, cheese, butter. They love and they're fond of that also.
Right.
And they have to do vigorous exercise, like all kind of hatha yoga, surya namaskaras, everything that comes under the these people, when it goes off the balance as a kapha, then they can do these kind of things. And if they fast also, that will benefit a lot.
Okay. And what about, there are people who do other kinds of exercise, like they would go to a gym and they would do weight training, or they would do, dancing or aerobics, or, any kind, other form of exercise. So what would you recommend for kapha, vata and pitta other than yoga?
But then yoga, I'll recommend more to the kapha only.
Vata can do
Kapha
just a little
people
bit
can
of
do all the,
everything.
yeah,
Their bodies are built
little
like
bit of
that.
here and
Yeah,
there they can do. Yes, yes, yes.
yeah.
But kapha people, they can do all the vigorous, whatever they are doing. Even pitta can do cardio also, no problem.
Right, right. Okay.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little about Dhoot Nadi? I'll tell you why. Because ideal is this is like a very general overview you've given for someone who's otherwise healthy, right? So this they can just kind of figure out who they are, what their prakriti is, and then follow a diet and exercise plan accordingly. But there are people who may not be feeling so healthy, and they may want Nadi Pariksha, and right now, it may not be so easy to get Nadi Pariksha done because of lockdown. So, so Dhoot Nadi is the only thing, right? Can you tell us a little about Dhoot Nadi?
So first of all, little bit what is nadi I can tell. So there
Please
are
tell
some
us.
channels where
Yeah,
we can
right, correct.
exactly see.
Yeah,
Yeah, so where we can see how exactly your body is functioning through only these three fingers called index, middle, and ring. That is called Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. So through when you are physically present in front of us, then we will check. Then we will tell about your prakriti, what you are made by, and what is the off balance right now. Based on that, we can tell about the diet, lifestyle, everything we can do. So this nadi is basically in our shastra. It is said by the Sharangdar Samhita. It is mentioned in the Sharangdara. It is one of the diagnostic tool. There are so many. In the one, the primary is the nadi only. In the Dut nadi, as you asked, I want to tell, Duta is nothing but called a messenger. Suppose if in olden days there used to have some messengers, no, they used to come and tell this is happened, that is happened. Then Vaidya used to talk to them, and based upon that messenger, he used to give all the remedies to particular that person, and then he
right.
used to send them. The same thing nowadays. So what we do usually when you be there in front of us, then that time in through whatever the media is there, then we just access you through the darshan pariksha. Darshan means I can see you, and through that only we will get to know about what is your prakriti, vikruti, and all. Then we'll tell all the characters. Then you just simply have to match your own the characters whatever we say, and based on that we can give the remedies also. So this is how it works.
So, in other words, when you do Nadi Pariksha in person, what you do is you have a way you use your fingers to
Yeah.
check the pulse, and through the pulse, through the nadis that run over here, you would be able to diagnose. And see, my experience, I'm just simply relating. My experience is you're able to tell what was going on 6 months ago, 1 year ago, 2 years ago, even in childhood, and just by holding the nadi, by just by seeing the nadi, you can even tell what the possibilities are in the future. That, oh, in the future, in 2 years, 5 years, 6 years down the line, you may get high BP or something like that if you don't change your habits. Am I right?
Yes, yes, yes.
It's
Because
possible to.
yeah, that is quite possibility is also there, because based upon your dosha and dhatu, everything that is checked by the Vaidya, then based on that he can tell you all the things whatever he saw.
Yeah, whatever
Yeah.
he's seen in the past and what the possibilities of the future. Now, with Dhoot Nadi, how does Dhoot Nadi is meaning if you can do it over the phone, you can do it remote, right?
So there are two things, like as we are sitting and I can see you and you can see them, like that also we can do. And by sometimes we can call over the phone, and that also we can do.
And how many people would you say are there in the world who have the skill to do Dhoot Nadi?
So it's very less, Didi. You can count on the fingers only. So
That's,
in
and you're one of them. So wow, we're privileged to be talking to you. That's very nice. And where did you learn this science from? If they, it's
so
obviously hard to learn. It's not easy. Otherwise, there would be more people doing it.
basic Ayurveda, I have completed graduation and post graduation in Maharashtra only from the MUHS University. But this Nadi, I have learnt all this in Shri Shri Ayurveda. Nowadays, it's called as a Shri Shri Tattva. So there are eminent doctors there. They graduate us through these practices, and I'm following practicing from last 7 years. So I'm still learning and I'm still moving.
But I've had that experience with you, and I know you're brilliant. You're just so good because through over the phone, through me, you can tell me about my mother. Meaning, neither am I there in person, nor is she there in person. But so I think that's really very amazing. This science, isn't it?
Yes, Didi.
Okay, so is there anything else you would like to tell everyone who's watching right now? Because this Ayurveda, you can just go on and on. It's so extensive, it would take years to uh, go over everything. But I think what you've given us is very nice right now. The basics is very informative. And is there, if there's anything else you would like to tell,
I want to tell only one
viewers?
thing in the conclude if you ask me that Ayurveda says swasthasya swasthya rakshanam. That means if you are healthy, so we will guide you to maintain that health for long run. And aturasya vikara prashamanam. That means if you are ill, then we will help you to come out of that illness. So this is what the main basic aim of Ayurveda. So you cannot say if someone is ill, then only you can approach to an Ayurvedic doctor. So usually we have a tendency in modern science, what they say is whatever the symptoms you have, based on that they can treat. But in Ayurveda, we see thoroughly through the Vata, Pitta, Kapha, your constitution, based on your imbalances and diet, lifestyle, and the remedies plus Panchkarma. These all we can recommend you. So this is all we can call it as a proper package or any things like that.
Can you just give us briefly, tell us a little about Dinacharya?
Yeah. So Dinacharya is again a concept in Ayurveda explained. So it starts from the Brahma Muhurta. So you have to get up early in the morning before the sunrise. So that is called Brahma Muhurte Uttishte. So as long as you get up, then first thing what we do, we used to go for the washroom. So that is called Prata Vidhi. So after that, then we can do like Hasta Pada Mukha Prakshanan. Then we can wash our hand, legs and face. So followed by we can do gargling. Nowadays it's very day-to-day life we are doing also, and we are listening. Not many people are telling to do gargling and all. So that we can call it as a kaval on Gandusha. There are different types. And followed by you can do some vyayama, like any kind of yogasana, Surya Namaskar or meditation. Then
May I interrupt you for a minute? When you talk about gargling, are you talking about with water or with oil or medicated? What would you say?
here I am telling about the water only.
Okay.
Yes.
And how long would one gargle?
I can say twice a day is okay, and warm water is okay.
But for how long each time?
I think 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that much is it.
And is that post or before brushing the teeth?
Really after.
After brushing the teeth. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes, yes. So then followed by your breakfast, then you can do your work, then come home, and you can have your dinner at the time of sunset. Then you can go to bed by 9 to 10 o'clock. So this whole thing is called it as a dinacharya. And there are scientific things also, like in dinacharya, abhyanga also includes. Like once you do vyayama and everything, you should apply all over the body oil. Then you can go for the hot water bath. So these all are the part of the dinacharya. I'm just giving a little glimpse so that.
So do you apply oil or do you lightly massage it?
No, you just apply oil. That is okay.
Oh, okay. And dinner should be had before sunset, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And lunch?
Lunch, you can ideal time now we can say 12:30 to 1:30 or up to 2 o'clock we can say.
And breakfast, does Ayurveda recommend breakfast or does it not?
So the thing is that in Ayurveda, we say depend upon your Agni, you can have your food.
Okay.
So some people say I don't feel like doing breakfast, so they can go for the 2 meals. And some people say without breakfast I can't live. So it depend upon their Agni, how much that Agni is there. Based on that, we can tell them, okay, you can do this and you cannot do that. So in general, it is little difficult to tell them.
So would you recommend fasting? And for different prakritis, is there like a different way of fasting?
Yes, yes, definitely. For the kapha, definitely I will tell to do fast. For pitta, moderate fasting is okay, like with fruits, with juices and all they can have. And vata people also, they can have fast, but they'll tends to eat. So based on that, they can eat and fast.
Meaning a little more, like a
Yes.
not a very strict fast.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
how often would you recommend people fast?
Nowadays, I'll recommend once in a 15 days, you can go for the fasting. That is absolutely okay because that will cleanse your entire system also. So it will help you to your all the organs to detox the body also.
So traditionally, we are told to do Ekadashi fast. So that's
Ah,
probably it syncs with
yes,
that.
yes, yes. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Doctor. And we would love to have you come back again and tell us a little more. Is there something you want to tell everyone that they can do? I know everyone's heard a lot about it already and you've said a lot already, but something during this time to strengthen the immunity. Is there any tip that you would like to give
Yeah,
everyone?
nowadays we are all following we have to increase our immune system because of this, whatever the COVID situation is there. I'll recommend each and everyone first you see what is your nature, whether it is Vata, Pitta and Kapha. Then first you change in your lifestyle. How lifestyle is different because that is a lot of impact on us. That is how exactly our Agni goes off the balance. Then this slowly it will break down our immune system also. So in Ayurveda, it's very beautiful quote said, Agni Moolam Balam. The one who is having a very strong Agni, like very good condition in Agni, then he doesn't have to worry about any illnesses. So if you have that much strength to maintain your Agni, automatically your immune system will get stronger. Then how to do? Nowadays you can use the tulsi, turmeric, ginger in day-to-day life. Then that will definitely help you. And you can do gargling also. So this will help in this pandemic condition. And of course, there are Shishi Tattva products, as I can say, Shakti drops is there, Immugen is there, and we have Amrit tablet, and one more is from the latest, we have Kabasur Kudinir, so which will help on the bronchial infection, any kind of uh, like COVID-19 or any kind of infection like that, upper respiratory, lower respiratory, that is very good in helping both the conditions.
I know of people who've been cured taking Kabasur Kudinir and,
Yeah.
Shakti drops and that whole everything that you
Yes,
just
yes.
spoke about. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Doctor. We look forward to having you soon again. I hope you will grace us soon. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Didi.
Thank you. It was so nice having you.
If you have enjoyed the video, please click on the like, share and subscribe button. Click on the bell button for notifications of new videos.